Okay, welcome back. In this tutorial, I want to introduce you to a concept in JavaScript known as logical not, okay, or the logical not operator. Okay, so what the logical not operator is, it essentially is you take some sort of expression, okay, and then you can negate it with the exclamation mark. The exclamation mark can be found by pressing Shift and pressing the number 1 on your keyboard, okay? So what the logical not operator does, apologies, let's go back to writing a comment, okay? So the logical not operator, okay, negates a value. So what do I mean by that? What do I mean by it negates a value? Well, what it does is it essentially changes a false value to true, okay, or it can change a true value to false, okay? Right, so let's do a couple of examples. Well, if I go to the console, if I say console.log and I just log out the Boolean value of true, semicolon, what we're going to see in the console is a Boolean true, okay? To prove that to you, if I just come down to Google Chrome and refresh, we get true the Boolean value. How the logical not operator works is you can essentially negate a value by just putting the exclamation mark on front of it. So now this is going to be not true, okay? So what is not true? Well, not true will have a value of false, so therefore we should see the Boolean value of false logged out of the console. And just to prove that to you, we now get false. Okay, awesome. Another example of this is if I log out of the console, false, okay, we're going to see the Boolean value of false. Okay, I hope you believe me, but let's just have a look and refresh. So we get false again, okay? However, what I can do is I can actually negate false by using the exclamation mark or the logical not operator. So now, when we have not false, well, not false will evaluate to true. So therefore, we should now see the Boolean true logged out to the console. And we do, we have true. Okay, awesome. So you don't just have to negate a hard-coded Boolean value such as true or false. You can also do it on variables. So maybe, for example, we have a user and they're playing a game and you might have like game over. So we could say let game over be equal to false because maybe the user has started the game, okay? So basically, if we were to log out to the console the value of game over, the variable, it would have a Boolean value of false. Just to prove that to you, if I console.log out will say game over value, and then just log out to the console that variable. Let's have a look. What do you think the value is going to be? Well, it's going to be false, right? It's going to be false. So let's just see here. So we get game over value is false, right? But let's say hypothetically the user runs out of guesses and therefore the game is over. Well, what we could do is we could change the value of the game over variable, assign it the value of itself, negate it, okay? So game over. Okay, so what am I doing here? Well, what I'm doing is using the logical not operator, I'm negating the value of false, okay? So now that's going to be true, okay? So remember, not game over. Game over has a Boolean value of false. By negating it, I'm changing the game over value to be true, okay? And then what I'm doing is I'm assigning it to the game over variable, okay? So this is us using the logical not operator to actually change the value of a variable. And now if I log out to the console, new value of game over variable when the game is over, what's that going to be? Well, let's log it out to the console and have a look. What is the new value of the game over variable? Well, it's now going to be changed to true because the game is now over, okay? So guys, that is the logical not operator in JavaScript. I know it's a bit confusing to get your head around, so we'll do another example in the next tutorial. But the key takeaway from this tutorial is that the logical not is another operator in JavaScript, okay? So basically what you do is you take whatever expression you have and just put an exclamation mark at the front of it, okay? So like not true, not false, etc. So remember, when you negate a value, what's going to happen? Well, if you were to negate true, if you were to say not true, that would be false, and if you were to say not false, that would be true. Very basic way of thinking about it is it just flips a Boolean value to the other value. So from true to false or from false to true. We'll do an example in the next tutorial, so I'll see you then.